Author David Baldacci has earned his reputation as one of the premier writers of our era.
His readers, young and older, know his characters well.
Theirs will be Roby, Amos Decker, John Puller, Sean King, and Michelle Maxwell, just to name a few.
In his brand new novel, Long Road to Mercy, Mr. Baldacci introduces us to a brand new character, an FBI agent named Atlee Pine.
It is always a delight when we get to talk to David Baldacci. So welcome back to Better Connecticut. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, just kicking off the tour and, energized, ready to roll.
So tell us a little bit about Atlee.
Yeah, she's the first female solo protagonist I've ever had in a series, and she sort of brings everything that I've been thinking about a character like that for a long time. She's an FBI agent, very much in a man's territory. She's a very tragic backstory. Her twin sister, Mercy, that's where the title of the book comes from, was abducted from their house when the girls were only 6 years old, and she's been searching for her ever since. She lives and works in a man's world, and I think her building block was, I need to prove myself mentally, emotionally, physically. Women have to do the job 3 times as well as a man to get ahead at a comparable level, and she likes being her own person. She likes working out in the Southwest near the Grand Canyon because she could be the only federal law enforcement agent for hundreds of miles, and she prefers it that way.
And she has some estrangements, right? She's estranged from her mother, and she also lost her father on her birthday?
Yeah, she did. Her father committed suicide on her birthday.
Oh.
The parents' marriage broke up because the daughter was abducted, and I think each blamed the other, so they totally destroyed the family dynamic. Atlee grew up more or less as an orphan and has been a loner much of her life, but as an FBI agent, to be a good one, you really have to build rapport with people, particularly out in the Southwest. You're dealing with local police, other federal agencies, Indian tribes, so you have to get along with people, and she's good at that, but she still keeps a lot to herself.
It's the perfect blend of action, secrets, and conspiracies, according to the critics. You've nailed it again, David.
How do you do that?
I try. My fingers crossed every time a book comes out. You just never know.
You have an interesting beginning to this because, you're still living in the place you were born. You studied law at the University of Virginia. It wasn't the typical path to become a writer, but I hear it was your mother who inspired you when you were little.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I never shut up. I just was telling these tall tales and yarns all the time, and my mom, when I was about 8, finally gave me a blank page journal and said, honey, why don't you try writing some of the stuff down? And as soon as my pen hit the paper, it was like, oh my God, I can put stuff down on paper and people can read my thoughts, and I never looked back. And years later, I went to my mom and I said, what a gift you gave me. And my mom was like, honey, I'm so glad it's worked out for you, but I just wanted to shut you the hell up. Because, I love you, I'm your mom, but even moms need some peace and quiet, for God's sakes.
You were saying, I was watching a YouTube video of you, and you said when you meet someone, you imagine how they would commit a murder. Is that true?
Yeah, when I meet people, I'm imagining all sorts of things about them that they'll never know. But for me, people ask, where do you get your ideas? And my answer is, I get up out of bed every day and I walk out the door and I just look around and I see life. Don't have my face buried in a phone. I don't hold my earbuds in. I'm watching, observing. I could get an idea just seeing 2 people meet on the street or watching a car pass slowly down a storefront. If you sort of look at the world and you cock your prism a little bit and look at it with an idea of how can I create the potential, seize the potential of that scene by adding a few fictional facts, that's where my ideas come from. I just love to observe and I love to experience life.
On this Black Friday, everyone's thinking about shopping, and yet we are in the giving season, and I know this has been so important to you and your wife. Talk a little bit about your foundation and how others can help.
Yeah, the Wish You Well Foundation, we formed it about 17, 18 years ago. We fund literacy programs and initiatives across the country. We've given millions of dollars over the years to that. We've collected millions of books on my book tour that we send to food banks around the country because people who are food challenged often have lower literacy skills. We're trying to fill their homes up not just with food, but with books that can help change their life and lift them out of that cycle of poverty. So it's very important in this day and age. We're the wealthiest nation on earth, and we have an enormous number of homeless people, an enormous number of kids who are food challenged, and a lot of people living in poverty, and that's just a tragedy that shouldn't happen here. So everyone should sort of look deep inside themselves and then look out to others and start to give. Trust me, it'll make you feel wonderful.
David, you're writing in your brain constantly. Do you ever take a break? Do you ever go on a vacation and just not write?
Well, I went on a vacation last year to the Grand Canyon, then I wrote a book about it.
That is perfect.
Well, they say you're doing what you meant to do. If no matter what, you're at the end of the night, that's what you still want to do. So I think you found the right passion.
I did. If I'm not writing, I'm not a happy camper. So I think I'm right in my wheelhouse.
And very quickly, we never want to watch a mystery with you or a television series with you because you know how it ends.
My wife won't watch a movie with me, and neither will my kids at this point, because I've seen it so many times. I've written these stories. I know all the rules and all the dynamics. And there's an instinct there. I was like, sometimes I turn and I said, "You want to know who did it?" No, shut up. Okay.
Well, you're fantastic.
No, that's why we read your books, to have a mystery. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. We appreciate your time. We hope you have a great holiday.
Same to you. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Right.
Again, the book is Long Road to Mercy, and you will find it at any of your favorite booksellers.
To learn about David, his upcoming book appearances, and his other best-selling novels, head to his website. It's davidbaldacci.com.
And you can also learn more about the Wish You Well Foundation that supports literacy for all, and as David was talking about, was founded by David and his wife Michelle. And you just go to that website. It is wishyouwellfoundation.org.